Welcome to the Regina Queen Show. Here with me is Shirley Collins from Cahokia, Illinois, and Tina James from Bakersfield, California. Shirley Collins is a mother of 5, grandmother of 22, and Tina James is a human trafficking advocate. Shirley Collins is here to raise awareness to prevent child abuse. And she would like to share her story to encourage everyone to always be very, very mindful when it comes to your children. Thank you, Shirley Collins, for being here with me on Regina Queen Show. How are you doing today? You're welcome. And Tina.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything for the children. We got to stand up for the kids. If we don't, who's going to stand for them?
Amen.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And with this technology, I have it. So hopefully everyone can just hear with us. And I will mute and then bring one by one.
Yes.
So it can go for the echo.
Okay.
So Shirley Collins, would you like to share your story with us now?
Yes.
How it happened to your granddaughter?
Yes. For the past 3 years now, my granddaughter has been being dropped off to me by her mother. The first time the baby was brought to me, if she wasn't 2 years old, she was almost 2 years old. And the mom said that she was bringing the baby to me because she felt like somebody was sexually touching on her baby, and that, she was told that I would be a good person to bring the baby to. Well, the baby did show signs, but she wasn't talking at that time. So she stayed with me for about 3 weeks before the mom came back and got her. To keep from going into just a long story, the baby has literally been dropped off to me now 4 different times. Each time the baby was brought back to me, the baby was speaking in more and more detail about things that's happening. And I'm going to share with you one of the things that the baby said to me that gives me no doubt something is going on. When she was 2 years old, she said to me, Mimo, I'm not going to say the girl name, but she said the girl name is putting a brown stick in me. Sometimes it bleed, sometimes it hurt. But if I don't cry, she give me chocolate. And I believe this, baby. There's no reason why a 3-year-old would have, 2-3-year-old would have no details on nothing like that. So I done talked to the mom, I talked to the dad. Mom only comes and get the baby when this girl come around, and sometime when the baby start telling, if I go out and I try to get the right authorities involved, like DCFS. The very first time the baby said anything to me, I took her to Cardinal Glennon. Cardinal Glennon recommended that the baby stay here. The mom had given me a note, giving the baby to me, $100, and the baby birth certificate saying she was leaving the baby with me because of things going on in her own life. She felt like somebody was after her and she didn't want her baby get caught in it. But once the baby told me about mom girlfriend touching on her, all of a sudden, mom want to come get the baby. Well, I told her she couldn't get the baby until, she talked to DCFS. Within 30 minutes, somebody called me on the phone and they said they were a supervisor with the Department of DCFS and that I had to give the baby back to the mother. I said, what about this thing being investigated about what the baby's saying? Well, we going to have it investigated, but she go back to her mom. Did that. They say they sent the baby, talk to somebody, and the baby said it did not happen. Well, come to find out, before she took the baby to talk to the forensic person the first time, she took the baby to Chuck E. Cheese to keep the baby from telling. Well, when the baby came back and continued to tell me, They end up physically abusing the baby in order to keep the baby from telling me anything. So now you can tell this baby is scared. Unfortunately, I have a son who was hurt by a family member. So my son came over after we had went and had a face-to-face conversation with Shandez Rucker with the DCFS. And my son is the one told me, Mama, they done whooped her. She done been traumatized. She not gonna tell now. She's scared. So when the lady called me back, she was calling me to tell me she was closing the case. So I asked her, well, did you call my nephew and his girlfriend who wrote letters in to you stating that the baby told them some things? She said, no, ma'am, I did not. I said, well, did you contact the other grandmother who said the baby not allowed at her house because she don't want one of her 5 sons to be the one get falsely accused of being the one that done it? She said, no, ma'am, I didn't. I said, well, did you contact the school? Because the baby done also told the people at the school this. No, ma'am, I didn't. Miss Collins, I'm closing the case. And hung up the phone on me. I done been before a judge. I done did everything I know how to do in order to get help that's needed for this baby. There is no way that there is not something happening with this baby. Unfortunately, I believe it was this past Friday that the baby did say that somebody else is also touching her. I felt like I needed to call the police, but unfortunately, being in the city I'm in with the corruption that's going on, that wasn't an option for me. The baby is with her dad right now. Her dad is my firstborn son, my biological child. But unfortunately, my son done did some things that also makes me have doubts about him. At this point, I can't trust nobody until the right authorities is involved and it can be proven that my son has not touched his daughter. The mom also posted on Facebook that the baby never said it was her girlfriend. The baby told her it was my son. The baby had never told me nothing about my son touching her. But unfortunately, recently she did. So right now, that baby needs to be in a place where she knows she's completely safe and the proper authorities get involved to find out who is touching on this baby, if it's more than one person touching on her, and get this baby justice. This been going on for 3 years now. 3 years. She's 5 years old. Don't nobody know what the long-term effect gonna be if the system, her parents, and everybody is failing her. You can't tell no kid that's being abused and betrayed by their mother to put their past behind them or get over them when they get older. Because we never get over it. When you are betrayed by your mother, you never get over it. And it affects every part of your life, from your relationship with your kids to your lovers' relationships. It don't matter. It affects you trusting other people. It can just turn you down.
It impacts the
Thank
whole
God that I got
entire
strength to
household.
trying to hold on, but I cannot let my granddaughter go through this. I need help. I need somebody to step in and do what needs to be done. If she lied, I will hold her accountable. But if she not lying, that baby needs justice and protection.
Yes, I agree.
And no court, no police, no DCFS, and nobody else should have the right or the authority to stand in my way of protecting blood of my blood. This baby is a seed of my seed. How can they tell me I don't have the right to protect her when she telling me these things?
Right. Right. Shirley, has there been any testing done, like any forensics for your granddaughter to see if she has been molested?
As
Sex-
far as I know, she's never been physically examined. When I took her to the Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri, they did not do a physical exam. They had her to talk to a social worker. I was not in the room, so I don't know what she told this person. But
Mhm.
when the lady came back in the room, the lady said to me, that there needs to be an investigation. She was contacting DCFS, and that because the mom had wrote a note and left the baby with me, that should have been enough for nobody to take the baby from me. But that wasn't enough. Within 24 hours, it wasn't even 24 hours. DCFS made me give her back. They making this baby live in silence. They keeping her from telling what's happening to her.
So, so you're saying that there was no evidence found that she was sexually molested?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so do you feel that could be the reason why they placed the baby back with the
No,
parent?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Being no evidence found?
No, ma'am. I do not believe that is the reason, because when we had the face-to-face meeting with the DCFS worker, she had me step out the room. I wasn't out the room very long. She called me back in the room. She said, why don't you try talking to her in front of me? Because she seemed like she's scared. So I bent down and I said to her, remember me and you had a conversation about now is the time you got to be your own biggest hero?
Yes.
Mimo wasn't there. Mimo don't know what happened. Mimo can tell them what you telling me, but they got to hear it from your mouth. I said, is you scared? She said, yeah. I said, well, just tell me what you said about the stick. She said, I don't remember. I said, is that because you got a whooping? She said, yes. I said, who whooped you? She said, the girl name. That should have been enough for the DCFS worker to know there's something. The young lady told me that time, well, where there's smoke, there's got to be fire. But yet she still closed the case without contacting anybody else.
Shirley, your granddaughter is stating that she was molested by the your
Mom's girlfriend.
your son's girlfriend's mother.
No, not my son. Her mother's girlfriend.
Her, your daughter's mother. Your
My
granddaughter.
granddaughter's mother girlfriend.
Okay.
My granddaughter mother is I don't know if you would call her bisexual or what you would label her, because one day she might be with a dude, the next day she might be with a girl. She do work in the strip clubs. The young lady is dealing with some serious mental issues. So I've not only tried to be there for my granddaughter, I've also tried to help the mother.
How many times have your granddaughter stated that she was molested?
Man, she done told me countless times. She ain't even just said it to me. She done said it to my daughter. She done said it to my other grandkids. She done said it to my nephew. She done said it to other people. And before November the 28th, 2022, the baby had been with me for over a month. The mom came to get her. Before she left with her mom, I said, tell your mama what you told me. She said, word for word to her mother what she said to me about the brown stick. Her mother response was, I think I knew exactly what stick she talking about too. So while you got this baby, can you please not have this person around the baby? She had the baby for 5 days. When she brought that baby back, that baby waited on them headlights to come on that car to make sure her mama was leaving. She said, Mimo, I told you you can't be letting me go with my mama. Her don't keep me safe. I said, did anything happen? Are you trying to tell me something happened? She said, I can't tell you. I said, why you can't tell me? She said, I'm going to get in trouble. I said, you're not going to get in trouble. If somebody grown tell you to lie, It's because they know what they doing is wrong. And even if they whoop you, you still tell me. You don't let nobody stop you from telling me if somebody is hurting you. She said, I got a whooping, so I'm scared. I said, who whooped you? She said, the girl had whooped her. I said, well, where was your mama at when she whooped you? She said, my mama had left walking. A couple of days later, she told me that it was even another girl in the house when this female whooped her.
How many times have CPS been out?
Twice to my knowledge.
And they took the girl out, they took your granddaughter out of the home twice?
Nope. They never removed her from the home. They always put her back in the home. The mom was dropping her off to me. She dropped her off to me 4 different times. Sometimes she would stay with me for up to 3 months. Every time she's ever been dropped off, she's dropped off with nothing but the clothes on her back. The baby was just removed from me the last time, February the 8th. The baby was dropped off to her daddy not 3 weeks later, and she been with her daddy since.
Wow. I'm so sorry, Shirley, that you have to go through this, and I'm sure your granddaughter would thank you one day.
Well, because there is no paperwork, and to be honest, my son really don't have no rights to the baby. He's never established paternity to her.
Right.
So if this lady
Shirley,
if this mom decides she want to come get that baby again,
Shirley,
she can come take
I want to talk about what happened with your son. You said you feel that your son is molesting his own daughter.
In my heart, I really don't believe he the person that's doing it. But unfortunately, since she been with him, she did tell me the other day that he been touching on her. Well, I listened to my son talk to her because I called him. He showed up. He said, had daddy ever whooped you? She said, no. He said, when daddy give you a bath, daddy don't even wash you up. She said, yes, you do. He said, I don't even help you put your panties on. She said, yes, you do. He never asked her have he ever touched her in an inappropriate way or nothing. So I feel like it should have been some things he asked her that he didn't ask her. So because of that, I have doubts in my heart. And I love my son, so don't nobody listening get it twisted. But I'm not going to ever uphold nobody when they in the wrong. When my son was 18 years of age, my son ran away from home. When I found out where my son was at, he was in another state. Well, he was still in the state of Illinois, but a little distance from home. Come to find out, there was a 13-year-old girl pregnant by my son when he was 18 years old. When he was in 20, 21 years old, he got a 14-year-old girl pregnant. That don't mean he would touch his own daughter, but it don't mean he wouldn't either. My father is a man who has 20, 30 kids. Every kid he got was born to a female under the age of 16. My youngest sibling was born to a woman when she was about 17. My daddy was already in his 60s. People already know my daddy was messing with these kids in these streets. I don't know why they didn't believe he would mess with his own daughters. He messed with every last one of us except for the youngest girl.
Shirley, what leads you to believe that your son is molesting his own daughter?
Because she said it.
Okay. Multiple times.
Well, no, she just only told me once.
Yeah.
She only said it to me once, and that was the other day. But one time is all it takes.
And CPS has failed multiple times.
Yes, ma'am. I don't even feel it would do no good for me to call them again. And then I don't even know my son's address. The mother done got kicked out of where she was living at. As far as I know, she homeless, house hopping. I don't even know her address to send them to.
Because we're looking at, they could be looking at Because I have heard so many stories, when it comes to CPS, they come out, they come out on false calls. We get false, people get false calls. They come out and they take the children out the home on a false call. And um, even with there being no evidence, but then they come out when it's not a false call and it's real, and they fail the children. And then later on, it's too late because that child has been molested or murdered. So this is what we're talking here. Child abuse is very serious.
Well,
Allegations.
if anybody do their research on the DCFS in the state of Illinois, they known for failing these kids. They have a track record for failing our children.
Is anything being done with the community, like coming together to raise awareness against CPS of how they fell in the children in Illinois?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, well, maybe you need to be the first one to start bringing people together and
I've been
advocate
trying.
for these children.
I've been trying to do things to bring awareness to a lot of things going on with the kids, not just abuse, even with the violence that our kids are involved in. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, I'm just a nobody, so nobody pays me any attention.
yeah, and that's how it
Nobody
is.
listen to me.
That's how it is, and that's why I have, this podcast has been helping, you know, me to get other stories out there because people who are not being heard needs to be heard. Doesn't matter who we are, we all human beings, everyone go through things, but a lot of people are not being heard and getting their stories out there to prevent. That's the whole message, that we're trying to put out there to prevent violence, to prevent abuse.
And this is a cycle in my family that I can't stop alone. This is the third generation for me. It's got to stop. It's too much. I can't handle it. And I can't stop it alone. If DCFS not going to do their job, what options are people giving me? This is my granddaughter. I done already went through it with my son. I did everything I had to do to protect my son. I sent my baby brother to jail. He's a registered child sex offender now because I sent him to jail for molesting one of my boys. I'm not ashamed of it. I'll do it again.
Yeah, Shirley, it sounds like it runs through the family, like it's in the DNA. Because you said your son's father.
No, my brother molested my son.
Yeah, but you said your son's father have multiple children with under.
My
Your father, okay,
my father.
your father has multiple children with underage children at the time.
East St. Louis was like my father's own personal slave plantation for him. If you don't know what I mean, that means my father's a white man. And all these women he was around here taking advantage of, they were young, black, underage girls that it seemed like nobody cared about. Some of these girls was young as 13 years old getting pregnant by this man. But he was never held accountable. Never.
Shirley, how did your son feel about the way you feel about him asking if he molested his own daughter? How did that make him feel?
I cannot talk to my son. I cannot. My son, he's a great person. He's a good man. But he don't understand the things I've been through, and his own actions can cause people to look at him in a negative way. So when I try to talk to him and explain to him it's because of things that he's done in his past that lead me to have doubt, he take it that I hate him or I'm trying to talk bad about him when that's not the case. You can correct some of these things you have done. The image I have of you is because of you, not because of me.
Yes, well, hopefully now he keep his eye open.
No, he not. This boy gonna get so mad he gonna call me everything but his mama. I ain't gonna be surprised when he call me and get to making threats on my life and all kind of stuff. I doubt that once he hear about this podcast, I won't even see that baby no more. I won't even see that baby no more. Because he not going to understand. I'm not doing this to hurt you or the baby mama. This is about people being aware that something is going on with this baby. Somebody needs to take heed. Her mother put it on Facebook that it was you that touched that baby. I believe the mama, since she got the baby from me in February, I believe that the mama put it in that baby head to say her daddy touching her. Because she had never said it before. I
Right.
read a post of her one day. The post her mama put on Facebook about her daddy. I think I sent you a copy of it. As soon as I read the part where she said your son did it, my grandbaby instantly, no hesitation. That never happened. So I told my son when I found out he had the baby, I said she dropped that baby off to you because she trying to set you up to be charged with being the one touching that baby to save her girlfriend. That's how much she loved this girl.
Wow. And Shirley, you are you're doing the right thing, to protect your granddaughter. And as being a grandparent, I'm a grandmother as well. So
We
I
love
know
our kids, but we love our grandkids more.
yes, I know how you feel. You're going to do everything in your power to protect your granddaughter, your grandchildren, 22 of
22.
them. Yes. And I know you're going to do everything in your power to protect your grandchildren. And if your granddaughter is telling you, these things, and, I cannot disagree with you, or I would have to be in, you know, um, just I would have to be in agreement with you of not ignoring what your granddaughter is telling you, because what she is telling you, that is very serious. And at her age, kids grow up and they learn things, and their mind and brain's like a sponge. They can remember things. And so I cannot fault you at all for what you are doing, even though, like you said, you do everything in your power to protect your grandchildren. You may not speak to your son to this podcast, and hopefully, your son can come to an understanding of knowing that you are, his mother and a grandmother, and you care and love all your grandchildren. And you just want your grandchildren to be safe and not become a victim of sexual abuse, because that can mentally disable them for the rest of their lives.
Can I say this to you?
Yes.
When it comes to my son and the young lady that my granddaughter said is doing it, which who I really believe is the person that's been messing with my granddaughter. I really believe it's the mama girlfriend. If they not guilty of what this baby is saying, why ain't they pushing for an investigation to clear their own names? It's been known for more than one person to be hurting a child. So by her saying it in his face, why ain't he pushing to have an investigation done to clear his name and find out whether or not somebody is violating his daughter?
Right. And so what you are doing, you're going off of their actions as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at their actions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I contacted the girl myself. Hey, look here. My granddaughter saying this about you. You had me fooled. I really thought you cared about my granddaughter. So why would she say these things about you? Her mama ain't never told me she's saying it. Well, I'm telling you she's saying it. And because she's saying it, you should just stay away from this baby. Next thing I know, the baby telling me it happened at the parking lot out here on the in Cahokia at a pizza place. Then the girl done whooped her and told her she better stop telling me what's going on with them. Come on now. I really do believe the mama girlfriend is messing with the baby, and they is forcing this baby to say that it's her daddy. Her daddy gonna end up being the one get locked up for it.
Right.
If he is touching that baby, he need to be locked up. But if he not touching that baby, he shouldn't be falsely accused.
Exactly. And that's where I was going next. Some people are being falsely accused, and whoever, does such crime to a child needs to be locked up. It's not fair at all. It's not
Well,
fair.
I got a recorded conversation between me and the baby mama on my page, where the baby mama done previously told me her girlfriend had messed with her own daughter. And I asked her, if you feel like she messed with her own daughter, why do you have her around yours?
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm so sorry that you have to go through this, Shirley, and you just keep being a voice for your granddaughter, and hopefully, you can save other children from being molested by sharing your story of what's going on in your family, with your family.
I
And
appreciate the way you said that. It seemed like that there is something wrong in my family within the DNA, because this just done happened too many times in too many different generations. And it's going to continue to happen as long as we continue to sweep it up under the rug. I refuse to be a part of the family that sweep it under the rug. I don't care who stops speaking to me. I don't care who get mad at me. Don't bring your child around me if you know that you abusing your child, or allowing your child to be abused, because I'm not going to be silent about it.
exactly. And I thank you for what you do. I thank you for what you do.
I appreciate you for taking time to put me on your show. And I pray to God that it reached the ears of hundreds of people that's willing to come forward and say, hey, not just this baby. Let's stand up. When we got grandmothers trying to protect their grandkids or their kids or a neighbor kid or a kid, period, and we see they not being heard, we gonna go. If we gotta travel, we go stand together and make sure that these kids are heard and protected. This is why we got so much violence in the world now. These kids done been hurt so much when they was coming up, until now that they grown, they exploding on the world. They
Right,
don't know nothing but pain.
right. And then end up getting out there to the streets, and being murdered or killed by someone.
I refuse to spread the pain. I
To
feel it
trust.
make
Listen,
I'm a hurt person, but I'm not finna hurt other people. It make me feel better to spread love versus this pain I feel in my heart.
right. And they go out there looking for someone to trust. And as we shared earlier about when people say it takes a village to raise a child. And we have to trust that village. You got to be careful of what village that is being a part of your child's life.
But it's been a village all the time. We've been raised by a village all the time. It's never been just the parents raising a child. It's always been a village. The teachers, the police, sometimes the politicians was even around to talk to kids. Nowadays, from the parents to the teachers to the police to the politicians, all these kids see is negativity. They have no positivity that they see. We don't go viral with people going out here helping other people. We don't recognize people that will put their life on the line for other people. But let a kid go do a carjacking. Oh, you see it on CNN, ABC, and everywhere. But you don't hear nothing about these ones making the honor roll.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Yes. So Shirley, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your story to prevent child abuse. It's very, very, very much needed. And I'm very sure that one day to come, your son will thank you as well. And I will keep you and your family in my prayers as well. And hopefully your son come to, the understanding and the knowledge of knowing that how much a mother love.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
That's something I've never had, is a mother's love. But I do my best to make sure my kids know what a mother's love is.
Yes. And we hope and pray that it doesn't get too late for your granddaughter. We hope and pray that she will not become a victim of most children, when the system fail, or, the parents fail the children, the child comes up missing. You know, we so I just don't want that to happen to your granddaughter. If all of this is true, but I'm letting your voice be heard and that you share what you know about your family. But on the other hand, I just hope and pray that it's not too late for your granddaughter.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
And you keep doing what you're doing, keep spreading awareness, get the message out there loud and clear, get in your community, and start bringing other, parents together who has been failed by CPS, because CPS has failed children multiple times. And it's happening every day. It's always on the news. We hear so much about the way CPS failed children, and the next thing you know, these kids come up dead.
And that's what I'm afraid of. Her mama gonna come and take her from us one of these times. And the next call we get, somebody gonna be done killed my grandbaby. And that's when DCFS gonna all of a sudden want to occur. But I don't know what I may do if that happens. Because I've been begging y'all for help for 3 years now. So I pray to God nothing like that happened. But unfortunately, that's the society we living in these days. Nobody seems to care about a kid until they land dead.
Correct. And you just keep praying, and God knows and God sees. He knows your heart, and He'll be there to guide you through.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you so much, Shirley, again, for being here with me on the Regina Queen Show to share your story. And all blessings to all your endeavors.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. And we had Tina James with us. She's an advocate for human trafficking. And we had some technical difficulty on her end. And she wanted to connect you with another organization who raises awareness against child abuse and CPS, and how CPS fails the children. So she will still be getting in contact with you to connect you with these groups so you can get support, because you do need support. You do need
Yes,
support, and you will get that. Just keep being a voice, get supported, and get out there with other grandmothers and parents who's been failed by CPS, so you all can come together and support each other, because it's very, very, very important that you keep raising awareness to prevent child abuse. No child should have to live in fear.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
And if you're going to live in fear, let me tell you what you live fear stand for. Face everything and rise. Don't let fear cause you to face everything and run, because once you start running, you be running the rest of your life. I ain't running. I'm ready to rise.
Yes. Right. I like that. Keep being powerful, because the power is in the voice.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I'd like to thank you, everyone, for being here with us today on the Regina Queen Show, as Shirley Collins shared her story, and as y'all know, to prevent sexual child abuse in any form. We thank you all, and anyone, if you would like to connect with Shirley Collins to help her get supported and be a support in her life, please do so. You'll find her at Shirley Collins via Facebook.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. We're going to end this right now, and we love you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
God,
Shirley.
thank you.
God bless you and your family.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We need it.
You're so welcome.
All right. Good night.
Good night.